implementing new loan standards, right? Now, what's supposed to be happening is that people who have a higher credit score are having an opportunity for them to not benefit as much as someone who might have a lower credit score, right? And what's happened is that the government is interested in creating opportunities for the little guy, the person who's experienced accrued disadvantage, the person who might have not had all the doors open to them. They have an opportunity now to potentially participate in this home ownership game, right? So today we're going to talk about how the government is setting people up, right? And I'm going to tell you a lie that's been told out here in the internet streets, right? It's been recently announced as recent as maybe about a week or two ago. It's like, oh, the Biden administration is going to charge the people with higher credit scores more money. They're incentivizing people with bad credit scores or lower credit score in order for them to be able to pay less in order for them to have a home. So today we're going to talk about that, right? And we're going to clear up the lies that are being told out here in the media, right? And salute to the mortgage boss because she brought this to my attention. She spoke about this about 2 months ago, right? And it wasn't until I listened to her, as she's a mortgage loan officer. She explained in her video, check out her channel, The Mortgage Boss, BAWSE. She explains in her video how this is a lie. The lies that are being told out here, they're smearing the Biden administration, they're smearing all efforts in order for people to go out there and purchase homes. Today, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this right here. In this right here, you can see it right here. This is a heat map. In this heat map, you can see the red zone right there. The red zone is that sweet spot. It's that one part where people are going to actually have an opportunity to put themselves in a situation to actually participate in this home ownership game, right? Now, me, myself, I sat up here during the pandemic and I watched all these home prices skyrocket. I watched all these listing agents scrambling all over town, talking about how many offers that they had submitted in the house. I saw all the buyers agents incentivizing people to buy homes sight unseen, no contingencies, home prices skyrocketing, and what does that do to people who don't have an opportunity to gain access to those funds? It ostracizes them and it leaves them on the outside, right? So today we're going to talk about the lies that are being told about how people are not able to access home ownership because of multiple factors that are happening right now. And a lot of it has to do with the recent real estate market that's existed out here, right? So today we're going to talk about that, right? And we're going to clear up the lies that were told. And I'm going to do the best that I can to illustrate to you all that the lies, and they're just an opportunity to make one group of people feel bad about being given an opportunity to gain access to home ownership, while other people sit and they benefit from other programs that are existing out here in the marketplace, right? So what's happening, right? So let's get to it, right? So the changes that are happening are associated with this, right? Loan level price adjustments, right? And they're more specifically loan level price adjustments that are associated with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, these are the entities that guarantee majority of new home mortgages, right? And what's happened is that this is a program with the primary intent of lowering the barrier for people who don't have everything in order, right? And the one thing about it is I believe that it actually creates more benefits than it actually creates disadvantages, right? Now, one argument that can be said is okay, if you're creating opportunities for people to pay less, to pay a lower interest rate when they are not technically qualified to benefit or to have a lower interest rate, what are you doing to the people who have a higher credit score? Excuse me. The people who have a higher credit score, as we can see here, these are the changes. Now, this heat map is a little bit confusing, right? In the sense that if you look at it, the red indicates a higher LLPA, right? And the green indicates a lower LLPA, right? The negative value is associated with a reduction in the price, right? And what's become clear to us, excuse me, it's a, so what's happening is the the red area right here is where the highest change has happened, right? Right? So if you look at people who are going to be having a credit score of 640 and they are asking for the government or the loan to cover 85% of their home right here, they could be paying this value right here. This right here. So they're looking at a reduction of 0.625%, right? Whereas as we go up right here, you're seeing an increase in the fee, right? And it's more so just a change in the fee, not so much an increase, right? And if you're taking the previous value and you're talking about the new value, it's essentially lowering the bar for people to gain access to home ownership, right? So that's one thing I want to say, right? So before we go any further, I want to take out some time to acknowledge the chat. Salute to the chat. All right. Salute the intentional millionaire. Appreciate you coming through. This is a topic that I believe that you could probably relate to, Tim. I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this and to see what you think about it. You know, I think that, you know, there's some pros and cons to this program. In my opinion, I think there are more pros than there are cons, right? Salute to She Stole My Thunder. You know, I see you, you're active out here. I see you posting. And, you know, it's time for me to get my mojo back and get back out here, right? So I'm here. Salute to our brother, JT Cornranks. Excuse me. Check out The Intentional Millionaire. He's a fellow personal finance content creator. He has some really good information. He is the Intentional Millionaire, and he can relate to this. So I'll be interested to hear what he thinks about this program. And salute to She Stole My Thunder. She's also a fellow content creator out of Canada, and she has some really good content, a diverse source of information, speaking and sharing with us everything that's happening up there, right? JT Cornranks, salute to you coming through. That's another content creator. He has right there. He has coin rings that he makes on his own. It's a really cool channel. Check him out. All right, so here we go. So what do we have, right? So this is what's happening right here, right? This is what's happening. You know, right here, home prices have fell in March. They fell by 3%, right? So home prices have fell. So let me take you back 3 years, right? So here we are during the pandemic. Houses are going up, almost like 2008, 2007. Houses are going up $50,000, $75,000 in one day, right? Here you are, you submit your offer for this house. They say, oh, no, your offer was rejected. You need to put a little bit more skin in the game, right? So then that's what people are doing. They're putting more skin in the game. They're offering over and above asking price, and they're sometimes going into the contract sight unseen, no contingencies, just really blindly purchasing homes, right? So that's what's happening. That's what's happening in 2020. Interest rates are 2%, you know, cream. Everything's good, right? So if you can imagine, if you're in a high demand area, the home prices are going to skyrocket, right? Now, what happens with people whose income is not increasing at the same rate as the home prices, right? Now they don't have an opportunity to participate in the home ownership experience, right? Now, the interest rate is one of the best prices I've ever seen in my life, right? But guess what? You can't buy a house, right? A $300,000 house here had like 300 people come and view it. 350 people to be more specific, right? And it's just in a neighborhood. It just happened to be in a somewhat semi-prime area. But just the whole idea of a house that's $300,000 being very much in demand is just an example of how high the prices are. So you take someone who's an average earner. They don't have an opportunity to gain access to opportunities to buy homes, right? And people are putting cash over and above their appraisal value. I mean, come on, what's supposed to happen? I don't really see how this is a game that's even fair, remotely fair, right? So we have that, right? So the home prices have gone down. And what else do we have, right? Home prices went down. Guess what? Between 2020 and 2023, guess what? Median sales have gone down because what? The government has increased the interest rates, right? So the increase in the interest rate is supposed to create some deterrence from people buying as much, right? Reducing the demand, now making the obstacles a little bit harder for people to attain, right? So here we are, right here. Here we are, right here, bam, right, bam. Home ownership sales, the median price goes down, man. So they're saying, oh, wow, what are we going to do? We got to create an opportunity for people to go out here and participate in the marketplace, right? The interest rate is higher, so people are paying more in order for them to have a house, right? If you have a house, if the average house price, home price right here is $800,000, how much is your down payment, right? What's 20% over $800,000 home, right? So if someone doesn't have access to those funds, how are they going to be able to have an opportunity to participate in the home ownership space, right? So we have that, right? Then we also have this part right here. We have this part. All right, mortgage demand from home buyers dropped 10%. All right, so now the interest rate has been increased, so now people don't have an opportunity to qualify, or they don't want to go into the home ownership process. They don't want to go in there at 10%. They don't want to go in there at 5%, 6%, when in their mind they were saying, I should have got in there at 2.75. I should have got in there at 3%, 3.45. The idea of me spending 6%, 7% on a home just doesn't make sense. It's double the money that I could have spent in 2021. So now there's a deterrence that's out here, right? People are deterred. They're saying, oh, no, we're not going to go out there and buy, right? Because now here it is, a 30-year mortgage right here with the loan balance of about $700,000 increased to 6.43% from 6.30 in the previous week. And this is just recent times, right? Because we sat up here and said, and we all saw that during the pandemic, man, the interest rate was 2.45 and people were scrambling, man. They were running out there trying to hurry up and get an appraisal, refinance that home, and then ride that fixed interest rate, 2.75, 3%, and just ride it. Ride it. I mean, it's a dream if you really think about it, right? So we had that, and what's happening, right? So now we're having challenges. Money is not moving like it was before. People are not purchasing homes like they were before. So what happens? They say, hey, listen, guys, we got to create an incentive for people to participate out here, right? And we don't want it to be a game only the people with the money are participating in. We want it to be a game that everybody has an opportunity to access. They come up with this program. In this program, that's the primary intent, is to create and to lower the bar for people to gain access to home ownership. And like I said, this red zone right here is where the increase happened right here. Right here between the 720 to 760 range. In that range right there, there's less of an incentive for the people with higher incomes or higher qualifications, higher credit scores, and a little bit more of an incentive for people who are in less of a beneficial situation. Like I illustrated earlier, the green is a lower LLPA, the red is the higher LLPA. So what do you guys think? You know, should the everyday people, should the blue collar people, should the people who are out here building our roads, driving our food and our products around, should they have an opportunity to gain access to home ownership? Or should they be relegated to $300 increases with rent, $500 increases with rent, $1,000 increases with rent? What do you think? I mean, to me, it makes sense, because you'll never own your apartment. right? If anything, you're funding someone's boat money. At the end of the day, this is an opportunity for people to participate in the home ownership process. And it wasn't until the mortgage boss really broke it down and said, hey, guys, this is something they announced in January. Why is everybody talking about it as if it's something that's brand new? This was announced in January. This is not new news. This is old news. This is months old news. We already knew about this way back in January. Why is everybody going crazy? What do you think? The question that I have to ask is, can we afford to create opportunities for the everyday man to gain access to home ownership? He doesn't have the money for him to be able to put down a larger down payment, sight unseen, no contingencies, no inspection. He can't get into a riskier product. Now, I will say this, right? To me, I'm on board with this if it means that they're not going to be exposed to riskier loan products, riskier or subprime lending. If it's going to be the same opportunity that someone with a higher credit score gains access to, I'm on board with it. If it means that someone is going to be relegated to a 40-year mortgage over a 30-year mortgage that's going to cause them to pay an additional $200,000 over the length of the loan, it doesn't make sense. If it's going to be that same fixed 30-year interest rate, 30-year loan with a fixed interest rate, no arms, because the arms is where people end up getting broken down. You take layoffs, you take a crippling economy, you take people not being in position to be able to pay the loans, you take people who are over leveraged as far as their mortgage rate, paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month for their mortgage. You mix that with a crippling economy, uncertainty in the workplace, and it just seems like it's a predatory measure. People going into loans that they shouldn't have gotten into. And then on the back end, they're being forced to sell those homes as a short sale at a discount while still being responsible for the difference. I mean, it doesn't make sense if that's the way that it's going to work out. But if it's going to be a similar loan product that someone with a higher interest, higher credit score gets access to, I'm on board with it. And this is the thing that I'll say right here. For all the people who are taking issue with the everyday man gaining access to these opportunities, I want you to have that same exact smoke and issue with the dairy industry, have that same issue with the meat industry and all the other industries that get government subsidies. Have that same exact smoke for those people in those industries, because there are always people who talk about the everyday man and say, hey, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You need to get it together. I did it. When there are a plethora of industries out here that are being held up by the government through subsidies and such. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that the everyday man, the blue collar guy, the blue collar lady, our truck drivers should have an opportunity to participate in this home ownership game. Put a 2 if you feel like they should pull themselves up by the bootstraps. At the end of the day, there are countries all over the world. One of the wealthiest nations in the world, Monaco, they carve out certain benefits to their citizens. Their citizens get first picks for jobs. Their citizens pay a subsidized rent. They pay a subsidized, they don't even pay income taxes. Part of the reason and one of the draws of living in Monaco is the reduced taxes that you pay from there. if those countries carve out stuff for their citizens, what's the issue with America, right? What's the issue with the people who are building our roads, building these buildings? You know, our plumbers, our electricians, people who are out here doing the work. You know, as America is moving to this America First concept as a result of the infrastructure bill that was released, what's wrong with Americans benefiting? You know, I would even say it'd be worth considering for America to not allow people who are not living in America to buy houses. Because if someone brings the money from overseas, that they, who knows how they attain the money? If they come here and they buy a house for cash, guess who gets an opportunity to benefit from the equity? Someone who's not here. Guess who gets, who charges the natives rent? Someone who's not here. I think it makes complete sense. Now, the caveat is that it cannot happen if it's going to be a predatory loan product. It's going to be given to these people. It cannot happen if it's going to be a predatory loan product. If it's going to be an equivalent product to the people with higher credit scores, why not? I named a couple of industries that are already being held up. We are already doing it. But for some reason, whenever industries and people are being scrutinized, they don't get criticized. The companies that are completely held up by government contracts. There are companies right now scrambling to move their infrastructure to America in order to benefit from the infrastructure bill that's here right now. Why not? Reduce the reliance on foreign entities and foreign funds. Let's create opportunities for America to go back to the place that it was. And that's building quality products that have a lifetime of workmanship and craftsmanship. Allowing people to be proud about the work that they're doing, you know, allowing people to be supported by the products that are being built here. I'm willing to spend a little bit more money if I know that the quality is better and it benefits someone else who's here. What I'm not on board with are foreign entities coming here and sidestepping the regular man. Even the hedge funds. I don't even want the hedge funds in the neighborhoods. They don't have no business in Main Street. It's unfair for someone to bring their corporate budget into your neighborhood because they can write off all those funds. So anyone that has any smoke for people who are out here seeking an opportunity to participate in the home ownership game, they need to have that same exact smoke for the dairy industry, the beef industry. Houston, I know Houston is a big beef market. The dairy industry all over the country is held up by government subsidies. So let's see. All right, what are you guys saying in the chat? Let's see. Enough of that. So what did JC Coinring say? He said facts, right? He said facts. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really interesting. They have a lot of smoke, right? What's JC Coinring said? He said 1, right? Look at Tim. Tim, 3 was not an option, Tim. It was 1 or 2. You're on board with the opportunity for the regular man to participate in the home ownership space. 2, you're against the idea of the regular man participating in the home ownership space via subsidy, right? I'm going to drop the link here in a second. We're going to see if anybody wants to come up and speak on this, man, because, man, there's a lot of smoke out here, right? What does he say? What does Tim say? The draw in America is selfish outlook, right? Hence how we got here. Exactly, right? Like, there's no way that we can have Like, we hold everything close to our chest while the people who are around us are drowning in rental increases. $300 a month increased in 1 month. So you're going to pay an additional $300 every month for rent, an additional $500 a month in rent, additional $1,000 in rent, all because the demand is high from people who come from higher cost of living areas and they're willing to spend more money. And you think the people in these apartment complexes are going to turn down an opportunity to increase the rates? No, no, not at all. Right? Jay-Z Cornray says some countries don't allow foreigners to buy land or homes. Exactly. I'm from South Africa. South Africa is very much against people who don't have citizenship buying homes. But guess what? If they're buying the house for cash, they can work their way out. They can work it out. You know what I mean? So it's unfair, man. It's unfair if someone's bringing foreign money in there, right? On the spot, salute, salute. Here's another real estate professional here, right? What does she say? She says thumbs up, right? Salute, salute. Tell me your opinion. I didn't get a vote from you on the spot. What you think? All right, so put a 1 if you are on board with the regular man, the blue collar guys, our working class population participating in the home ownership game. Put a 2 if you believe that they shouldn't gain access to this opportunity. They shouldn't have a carve out. They shouldn't receive a reduction in the fees associated with them purchasing a home. What's JC Conrad say? JC Conrad says definitely. He said Tesla is a recipient of federal funding. Exactly, man. Like, this is a company that's doing all sorts of innovation here in America, right? All sorts of innovation. Why not? Why not? Because China is investing in their companies. They're making sure that their companies are succeeding, right? What does Tim say? The intentional millionaire says, let's make mortgages great again. I mean, exactly. Come on. Give the regular man a non-predatory loan. Give him access to home ownership in an appreciating community where they can have an opportunity to watch the community become enriched while at the same time not being priced out, right? Salute to Mr. Boyd. Appreciate you coming through. He says, congratulations, 200 subs. Appreciate it. Right? All right. What did she say? She said she just got here. On the spot says, just got here, but love the commentary so far, right? I'm interested. You know, it's a lot of smoke, man. And me, I think I'm a professional. I heard the term in 2015. It was called, being on the struggle bus. Man, I'm a professional struggle busser, you know. I've been out here. I've experienced all sorts of challenges out here. And I'm telling you, there's no way you could participate in the American experience without ownership, right? Not at all. What did she say? She says 111. Exactly. Come on, man. Come on. Now the other people are getting subsidies. I'm seeing companies jumping over companies. Oh, let me figure out a way to move to Washington, D.C. so I could rub elbows with the big wigs. So I can be around the big dogs, take them out to lunch. You know, butter them up. Doing whatever lobbyists do, you know. All they do is take the dignitaries and politicians out to lunch and, and oil them up, get them ready for the next bill that's going to benefit them. Yeah, man. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I'm an expert struggle buster. But I'll tell you one thing. Regardless of what people say, you're going to make a way. The thing about it is you just need someone to just open it up just a little bit. Open it up just a little bit with a little bit of a change in mindset. You know, if you can allow yourself to get away from the programming that's happening out here, people who are trying to figure out a way to get into your pocket, you can be in position. As long as the homes are in appreciating communities, right? and they have access to quality loan products and not predatory loan products, I think that this thing could work. I think it could work because we just said it. Other industries are doing it, right? So that's what I want to say. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and none of it matters. It's the things that are happening out here that could be detrimental to this economy, and I specifically think that a lot of these apartment communities and these rental communities, I don't care if someone owns an apartment complex. I think there's just a lot of predatory measures that are happening out here. Increases of $300 per month in rent, $500, $600 in 1 year. That's more than ridiculous, man. Forget that. I don't care. I don't care how nice the place is. No place is worth an increase of $300 from year to year. No place. So you can have all the smoke for the regular man, the hardworking people out here. No, don't drive people to desperation. We're seeing a string of like really wild things that are happening in the country because people are hungry. They're struggling. The gas prices are higher. Food cost is higher. It's not sweet out here at all. And it's only a matter of time before people just resort to desperate measures. And I'm just not on board with people being forced to go to those places, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link. Let's see if any of you want to come up, give me some commentary, tell me what you think, because I'll be interested to hear what y'all got to say. On the spot, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Tim, I want to hear about this three selection that you submitted. Let me see. Okay. All right, that's fine. Let's see. All right, the struggle busing over here, guys. Hold on. On the struggle bus, we are on the struggle bus. Yeah, man. Expert struggle buster over here. But you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to get mine one way or the other. Here we go. But I want to do it legitimately, peacefully. Oh, he's on the flight. Okay, all right. Tim's on the flight. Listen, you can't even defend yourself today, man. Come on, Tim. On the spot. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. I think you're in the Western market. You're in the Western part of the country, right? So I'll be interested to hear what you think. Let me see. Let me pin the link. I forgot to do that. Let me pin it. Yeah, it's just really interesting, and let me see, pin message. All right, so it's pinned. Tim, go ahead and type in the chat. Tell me what you think, man. Let's see. If you guys are not able to come up, I understand. There's nothing wrong with it. One thing I'll say is this. There's a lot of moving parts out here. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I'd much rather, in my opinion, those funds that you're spending on rent, they go towards some sort of equity position. Now, the idea of 100% financing is a risky one because you don't have an opportunity to come into the home with an equity position, at least not as strong as someone who put some money down. I think right now is the time that we really need to sit up there and buckle down, really figure out what we really need. Can we create some opportunities for ourselves to reduce our cost of living? Can we really assess our interests? Our spending, our expenses. One of the things about my channel, one of the things that I'm working on is I'm working on something that can allow you to really face your expenses head on. There's something about tracking your expenses and looking at how much you're spending that has like a humbling component to it. When you're looking at how much you spent and you can just ask yourself, what in the world was I doing? What was I thinking? Why did I spend this much money enriching this company before I'm enriching myself? That's one of the things that I discovered as a result of me tracking my spending. Man, it's humbling. It's like you going into your room, taking off your clothes, and you're standing right there in front of your mirror, and you're saying, "Listen, I've got to accept it. This is who I am. This is what I am." And I think everyone should experience that. Think about who you're enriching with your money. Every dollar that you earn, the more that you spend outside of your household or outside of what enriches your household, the more that you put other companies in position more than yourself. So I strongly insist that you create an opportunity for you to start tracking your expenses. I want to come out with a measure that I've been using in order to track my expenses. I'm working on it. I'm pretty close to wrapping it up. But I want to lower the barrier for people to say, hey, I don't have access to the opportunity for me to track my spending. Please help me figure out a way, right? So support the channel by liking and subscribing. Follow us on the various social media platforms. Let's figure out a way. Let's figure out a way for us to be able to ride things out, because there's a lot of wild things that are getting ready to happen. If you're not in position for you to get into a home, or you don't want to just go into an apartment by yourself, I think that whole idea of children getting kicked out of the home and being forced to buy an apartment or pay for an apartment and being kicked out of the house is wild. I've watched children from the South Asian community. I watched them as millionaires living at home while having investment properties where they're earning money. I've met a person here in my city who owned 100 rental properties during the last recession, 2008. One person, 100 homes, and they were from that same South Asian community. You know, the statistics that just came out that said the American Indian family earns about $100,000 on average per year. What is it that they're doing? I don't know. Their children are not being forced out of the house. Their children are living in the home. They might have a multi-generational home. They're moving out of the house when they have the down payment money together. What is it for you and your family? What's the strategy that you're going to come up with your family? If you and your family bought a home in an appreciating community with great schools, and y'all ganged up together in order for you and your children to be in the high income area, in order for you to be in position to benefit from the appreciation, what's wrong with that? There's a lot of predatory measures that happen out here, and we have to figure out ways to counter the things that are predatory that are being exposed to people who are less fortunate. These are just some ideas. And I've been a rebellious person for the majority of my life, partially because the odds have not been in my favor, and I've had to figure out a way. And I think that you have to be creative in order for you to figure out ways to navigate away from the people who think that you don't deserve to participate in this economy here. And this is potentially an opportunity for that barrier to be lowered. The home prices are higher. We can't really do much about that. Now we can celebrate that the prices have fallen. We can celebrate that. We can celebrate that the median sale price has gone down. We can celebrate the fact that the people who were in position, they had an opportunity to do it. But this is what I can say right here. Look, in 2023, 59% in Atlanta, 59% of people face competition. March 2023. February 2023, 51.9% Redfin offers face competition. In 2022, 65.2% of people who were purchasing homes face competition. There's got to be a way. And I think that, if the greed can be reduced out here, if people are not being asked to put in over ask offers, the regular man could participate in this economy. Yeah. Salute to Tam. Tam, I'm talking about this right here. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this whole idea right here. What we have is, right here, the loan level price adjustment. Price. Essentially, it's the price that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are imposing upon an individual who's applying for a home loan. And what's happening is, with this measure right here, they're creating opportunities for people who are lower income to gain access to the opportunity to buy a home by charging them a slightly lower interest rate, while at the same time not reducing the amount that people with higher credit scores are gaining access to the home. So essentially, people who have higher credit score are not being charged. They're not being charged a lower rate fee in order for them to gain access to home ownership. What's happening is the people who have lower income, they're being charged a slightly lower fee. Now, the talk was that people who are who have a higher credit score are going to be subsidizing the fees for people who have a lower credit score. This is something that was announced. It was announced in January. So the conversation has been one that this was announced in January 19th. That's when it was announced that the people who they want to create opportunities for the regular man to get out here and buy homes. I mean, when houses are going $50,000, $100,000 over ask, how is anyone going to participate? And Tam says it right here. Tam says everybody works in Indian homes. Exactly. Everyone works, and guess what? They go to school for specific degrees, strategic degrees with the intent to be able to contribute towards the betterment of the household overall. They have a multi-generational community or household. They have grandma. They might have aunts, uncles living in the home, high income earners, creating opportunities. This lady I came across in 2008 owned 100 homes. She said it out of her mouth. She told me that. Here I am at the house. I'm doing work there with my business, my little business. And this lady's telling me she owns 100 homes. Her and her family, 100 homes. How does that happen? Strategy, collaboration, figuring out a way for them to make things work together. I mean, I don't know. What is it going to take? What does Tim say? He says everything in the current economy, everything in the current economic environment is market manipulation to influence consumer reactions. Exactly. It's a matter of really figuring out what can they do in order for people to release the funds. What can they do to let go of their money? How can they move things in order for them to not benefit while at the same time being taxed more, right? What does On the Spot say? On the Spot says, cooling from the last 2 years, lots of opportunity as always, right? Chicago is such a great market for investors, right? So the communities that were previously, exactly, like she's saying, communities who were previously providing affordable housing, they're now deciding that they're going to go in a different direction. They're going to create different opportunities for people who are really in need. And here in this local community, here in the Raleigh-Durham area, the affordable housing communities turned into townhouses. And the townhouses, I want to say that the opportunities were pay as you in. So it's an income-based living situation. So people who are older are living there in addition to people who are in need or people who are fresh out of school, but they don't have the same brick, concrete floor configuration as the projects of the past, right? Tim is saying hello. Hello to Tam. Asking her how's D. Yeah, you know, shout out to D. Shout out to D, right? What does On the Spot say? On the Spot says, yeah, facts, right? Exactly, you know. So I just think that, you know, it's just really interesting that we can have all this smoke for the regular man when they have an opportunity to potentially participate in the economy, but no smoke for the beef industry, no smoke for the cheese and dairy industry, no smoke for all these other entities, you know, the renewable industry. I mean, there are all sorts of different industries that have an opportunity to be subsidized by the government. I don't know. Monaco does it for their citizens. Monaco provides their citizens with opportunities to get premium housing. They pay a fraction of what they charge outsiders. They create opportunities for the citizens to get preferential consideration for jobs. I mean, I think that, in my opinion, just like J.C. Cornring said earlier, some countries don't allow foreigners to buy homes. And it's something worth considering if it means that someone is going to bring their foreign dollars to America and unfairly compete with the people and the citizens here. And like I said before, even the hedge funds don't have no business in Main Street. None at all. Because those homes that they have in those communities, there will forever be rentals, and that's a high likelihood those houses will never ever go back onto the marketplace. And they don't have no business in nobody's neighborhood. How are you going to compete with a hedge fund that's got millions and billions of dollars? I'm okay with them losing a whole bunch of money as long as it can contribute towards them leaving the community. That's where I'm at. I don't want to see the regular man, the struggle busters like me, being exposed to people who have an unlimited amount of money. They have no business at all there. So the link is it's pinned in the chat. If no one is able to come up, it's Friday night. You know, it's Friday night. If no one's able to come up, that's what I have for you all, you know. There's not much that needs to be said. You know, we know the economy is struggling, and, you know, we have such things as you know, fights about the debt ceiling. You know, we see fights about the debt ceiling that are happening out here. Right here, the debt ceiling is the maximum amount the U.S. government can borrow to meet its financial obligations When the ceiling is reached, the Treasury cannot issue any more bills, bonds, notes. It can only pay Treasury bills, T-bills, through tax revenues. This is something that's happening out here, right? Here, this is it. This will be linked in the description. Right here, this is the release from Fannie Mae. You can take a look at it if you like. All these links will be listed in the chat. You know, I think it's important for people to have an opportunity to be able to look at the information for themselves. I like this one right here because it shows you the heat map. It shows you the areas right here. The guys in red will be the areas that are being exposed to higher LLPAs. The guys in the green are going to be exposed to a little bit lower rate. So right here, if your credit score is less than 639, you're going to pay 1.75% less. And you can look at the top right here. This is the amount that you're actually borrowing. So 30% of your value, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 97. That's what I have for you all. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing to have a country that's willing to invest in their citizens, as long as they're not being exposed to predatory loan products, as long as they're having opportunities to get into these same communities that are appreciating, and as long as on the back end they're not going to be the designated losers. We should do it. We should do it. And if you have smoke for them, have smoke for the beef industry, the dairy industry, renewables, all the other industries, the electric, the EV industry, I mean, all of it. Have smoke for everybody, right? Connect with us on our various social channels, right? Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, so that's what I have for you all. It's been great. I enjoyed the dialogue. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. May 1st, it's going to happen. May 1st. There are going to be changes, but they're not changes that just came all of a sudden. It came up out of nowhere. This was announced way back in January. You know, this is not new news. This is old news. But the news would lead you to believe that it's new news. It's something that the Biden administration is trying to stick it to the people who have a higher credit score. And I mean, there should be benefits to someone who has a higher credit score. But look at the Monacos. Look at the other countries that allow their citizens to benefit before they allow outsiders or people with higher income. And why not? Why not? So it's been great. I appreciate the conversation. You know, consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to really start having more of a dialogue here. You know, I want to go ahead and start covering topics like this. So any opportunities for me to cover money out here, whether it's conversations about stuff that affects everyone, things that are happening in popular culture. Check out TAM, Women in Linux. Women in Linux is a great channel that shares opportunities for people to level up, right? One of the catchphrases Women in Linux has is you're one skill away from 200K. And if you take the opportunities that are being shared on Women in Linux, you ride with Tam and Dee along on a journey to put yourself as an American citizen, to participate in this economy, to get your piece of the pie. You take what she's sharing on her channel and you apply the knowledge that she's sharing on her channel. You'll be a higher income earner. You'll have an opportunity to get your piece of the pie. And you won't be sweating the fact that you're paying a slightly higher interest rate, you know, because at the end of the day, there's so many sophisticated income reducing or tax burden reducing strategies that you can learn along the way. What difference does it make? You know, if it's an opportunity for you to level up, if you're making $200,000 at present, you have an opportunity to be an accredited investor, so you'll have an opportunity to greater opportunities for you to grow your money. Why not? So I strongly encourage you, check out Women in Linux if you're interested in participating in the tech industry and dominating. Check out Women in Linux. Check out The Intentional Millionaire. He's a fellow personal finance content creator. And he also speaks about topics like this, right? I think that it's really important for us to have people who are out here who've participated, you know, in a struggling space, right? They didn't have all the doors open to them, and they just want an opportunity to be out here, right? Check out Owner's Spot. She shares similar concepts, right? Get in the real estate game, right? Not from a predatory position, but get your piece of the pie. Get away from these $300 increases every year, every month. Get away from them. So I just want to make sure that you guys are just hearing it from someone who's a struggle buster out here. And, you know, people are going to say whatever they want to say. With that, I appreciate you, and I look forward to the next time. All right. Peace.